Hello, I'm doing a video because I'm really high. I was working on my computer and I was thinking, oh man, I'm so high. Like, am I too high? Like, this happens every once in a while with edibles. I did my normal amount, like half of the thing in the syringe, and threw it in the water. This is the first time that I just put it in hot water though. I didn't have a tea bag or anything, and then I drank it. And yeah, dude, like an hour later, I'm like, what? I was working here on this site here. I'm not so high that I'm like hindered in my capacity, but yeah, I was kind of feeling like, am I too high? Holy shit. So I was like, alright, let's do a video. So, video request. Can you please talk about your thoughts on the James Bond 007 film series in general? Which ones have you seen and what are some of your favorites? Who plays James Bond the best since they had different actors throughout the years? Why is that? Wow, that's interesting. I like this one. I like this video request. Whoever it was, I can't remember who it was. Can you please talk about your thoughts on the James Bond 007 film series in general? Yeah, dude, I love James Bond, man. When I was a little kid, I loved the James Bond. On the song. I became familiar with James Bond around like 82, 83, you know, when I was like, 8 or 9, something like that. So that was when they were having Roger Moore. And so the first one, I think I saw, some of the first ones I saw were, on the movie, in the TV, and then I would go and rent them. For Your Eyes Only, Moonraker, The Spy Who Loved Me, and then the last one he did, I saw in the theater, Octopussy. So, but my favorite of all time, and since the beginning, was For Your Eyes Only. That's the one where he climbs up that like sheer cliff to the monastery on the top where the bad guys are, James, like he's with the rebel group and James Bond climbs up, like this aid climbing, and they knock him off and he almost falls, and he climbs up with a shoestring and pulls the guys off and brings his buddies up and has a fight with like the cyborg guy, and and then the ski race, the ski race scene or chase scene, when he does the helicopter and shoots them, when he's doing the helicopter, and then the guy on the motorcycle, and then the car, the submarine Lotus. No, that wasn't that movie. That was another movie. I can't remember which one, but yeah, the chase scene with the little Volkswagen, that was awesome. That was the best chase scene ever at any movie I've ever seen. When they're cutting through the switchbacks and the bad guys end up in the tree. Yeah, man. And the girl in that was badass. Like, that was, when was that, 1980 when that came out? The girl, she's really hot, and she was badass. She saved James Bond's life in the beginning. She was Crossbow. She was there to go assassinate the guy too. Like, she was like her own little private eye, like super spy. To get revenge because her parents were killed. So yeah, that was my favorite. But Moonraker, probably number 2. The Spy Who Loved Me, like with the underwater fortress, number 3. Yeah. And then later on, they had Timothy Dalton. I like the Timothy Dalton ones. I thought he was okay James Bond. And then Pierce Brosnan had the perfect look for James Bond, and he was a great fit in the beginning, but as he got older, they needed to do a change up. It kind of became cheesy. He was too old, not athletic, looking. And so, yeah, they got the athletic, blonde dude, switched it up a little bit. And he's perfect, I think, Daniel Craig. They need to have more action, though, I think. Or more action where James Bond is successful, Like, the last movie they had where he got shot in the beginning, like it was all Like that whole action scene was awesome, but it was all for nothing. He gets shot and the bad guy gets away. I don't know. I like it when you see the action and it's for a payoff. But the action scenes in James Bond are always the best, and the little all the techno gadget stuff. I think the golden age for James Bond, when it was kind of its own genre, you know, was in the '80s with Roger Moore, and I think he was my favorite James Bond actor as well, because he was so cool. I mean, he was the epitome of like, you know, like when you're a kid and you look up to like the ultimate hero, you know, like if you're the little kid in the village and there's that just a warrior who's just a badass no matter what. Like Roger Moore acted that perfectly. I like he was, because he kept his cool perfectly. Like when you saw his face, you know, when he has to like escape right before he's about to get killed, you know, like when they're under pressure and they're having to escape, you know, like in For Your Eyes Only, when they're having to escape being drugged behind the boat until they drowned and be eaten by sharks with the girl when they have both their hands tied, and he had some gadget, I guess, on his watch. But like whenever he does that stuff, he's just like totally, like his face is just, but it's not that he's a bad actor, it's just that that's James Bond. He was just, you know, because if you want to be like that, an action hero like that, you have to be totally cool under pressure. And to act being totally cool under pressure in a really good way, I think the only person I've ever seen do it was Roger Moore at being James Bond. And that's the coolest acting in action I've ever seen. To just be, you know, just to totally be under cool. Like, and he was under pressure, he was being cool, like he knew he was going to survive, you know? Now that's the epitome of cool. Somebody who thinks they're invincible, you know, all the way up until they die. You know, a lot of those World War II pilots were saying, the ones who survived were like, yeah, man, we were up there, we thought we were invincible. You know, we didn't even care. And it kind of makes sense when you think about young kids, because these kids were like, you know, 17, 18, 19, 20 in World War II. And, you know, when kids are that age, a lot of kids that age, dude, a lot of boys that age are like crazy. And especially when you get them together, they can get really nuts. Like, you know, like racing cars and doing stuff that's just crazy. And you can just imagine them being like that up in the air in a war, just being like, yeah, ah, woo, you know, and they're just having all this fun and they're totally confident, you know, and up until they die, you know. And so they're, you know, so the look in their face, it's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of how James Bond was. He just knew he was going to win, you know, in the end. And so he just, Pierce Brosnan didn't have it as good. Pierce Brosnan was like too like stressed out. He'd be like, you know, and I mean, which I guess is more realistic, but, and even Daniel Craig is more like Roger Moore. He's got that cool look, you know. Yeah, so I think he's probably my second favorite, Daniel Craig. And, you know, maybe even the favorite because not my favorite, my most enjoyable to watch, but I think the best generally because he's the most realistic because he's fit, you know. And somebody who's going to beat up everybody is going to have to be super fit. In the last Roger Moore movie, I think he was 59 years old in Octopussy when he played James Bond, and his love interest was like, you know, in the movie it was another one of his 20-somethings, and I mean, some 59-year-old dude, like, being a super spy, beating people up, you know. I mean, it's believable, but you'd have to be like Sylvester Stallone, you know, not Roger Moore. But Roger Moore was, you know, he held his own, he was fit enough, but for the earlier ones, but I don't think he was too old for the last one, definitely should. It was interestingly old. He's like 4 years older than Sean Connery. Roger Moore is. And it's interesting, Sean Connery did a movie after Roger Moore. He came back for one, and I think I saw that one and it was okay. I think Sean Connery is a pretty good James Bond actor. So anyways, which ones have you seen? I think I've seen like all of them except for the first one, His Majesty's Secret Service, the comedy one. Maybe I'll see that one time. I'll see if it's on YouTube. And I think I've seen almost all of the Sean Connery. I know I've seen all of the Roger Moore, and I know all of Roger Moore. I could almost list them. He did like 8 of them. First one was I'm really high right now, like I said. So You know, yeah. Man, I can't name more than like 4 of them, and I can't even name like 3 now. Here, maybe I should try right now. The Spy Who Loved Me. No, yes, Spy Who Loved Me, dude. I think that was. And then Goldfinger. That was Roger Moore. And then, see, the one that I know, I can't even think of, so let's forget about that. All right, so what are some of your favorites? Who plays James Bond the best since he had different actors? Okay, why is that? Yeah. All right, so that's what I think about James Bond. I guess they're going to make another James Bond. Yeah, they can do it. I don't know if they've used up all the David Fleming books. I think they have, like the last one's the last one or something like that. But they kind of, the ending of the last one was like they were setting up for another one, only with a new Moneypenny, so with a little bit of a reboot, you know? Yeah. You know, I think they should veer from the formula a little bit. The formula for James Bond is that he always gets caught, and then they let him go, you know, or somehow he escapes. And it's like, I don't know, it's always like some sort of a drag when he gets caught, because sometimes he gets caught for really stupid reasons, you know, and it's like if he gets caught, they should have him get caught for a good reason, like he did well or something, or they really outsmarted him, and to not have him get caught in every movie, you know, I mean, and if he gets away, not because they let him, because he escapes, I don't know, it's kind of makes the superhero seem like an idiot when they get caught, but, okay, so that's about that with James Bond. Peace out.